Wednesday. Just getting set up here. I'm also finishing cooking my wife's dinner. So I will be jumping out of shop here just for a minute. I gotta set everything up. I am not ready to go today. Oh shoot, you know what? I didn't put the microphones in. I don't think it's gonna work. If I do it after the fact, it didn't with my old mic. I doubt it will with this mic. So it might be unmiked today, we'll see. Let me see if this works. So who we got here tonight? I don't know, I haven't put my normal message up there yet. Shit. You know what? Hey, soldier. Yeah, about time I got here. I got on right at 7 o'clock, all right? That's when I said I was going to start. I'll be right back. I got to make sure my wife's dinner's not burning. I am back. Hey, now we got 5 people. Who's here besides Soldier? All right, I'm going to try to put this mic in and see if this works. I didn't start the live with it. So I got a lot of echo right now. I'll turn the volume off of my TV here in a minute once I see if these mics work. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey, cool, it did work. All right, now I'll turn it down on my TV / monitor. There we go. So how's everybody doing tonight? Howdy, Keith. Let me put that here. So I'll show you guys what I was working on earlier today. I don't even know if I'm going to actually do anything tonight. It might just be a chat. We'll see. I'm tired. Good thing I'm not going to work tomorrow. In the shop working on the chest recordings. Oh, that's cool. Redesigning your market signs. How are you making your signs? One of these days, I'll try a market again. I did one 2 years ago. Did okay. Made about $100. But I was like woefully unprepared for that whole experience. I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. Well, I'm checking on the battery pack, see how charged it is. I've got almost 3 bars of charge. But anyway, it was an experience. And then I was supposed to do another much bigger one that same year. And I ended up not doing it. I had a band commitment, so I ended up wasting $50 for the booth rental or the space rental. And well, I was unprepared for that too. So this year with band, I just haven't had a chance to do anything. Hey, Amy, how's it going? Man, I love your frog video. You got to let me know where you get those molds from. I've got a bunch of resin. I should probably actually use it up pretty quickly. I've had it sitting around for maybe a year now. I don't know if it should still be good, but I have no idea how long that lasts. That sucks, Keith. Probably lasers time, maybe just CNC. Yeah, CNC is the way I'd probably do it. Well, for me anyway. I mean, my laser is really too small to do anything large. I'd have to do it in pieces. Even my CNC, though, I can only get 33 by 33, I think, which is usually pretty good for just about everything. 3 weeks, and the rest was, hey, that's awesome. That's awesome, soldier. Yeah, I do need to use it up. It's really, well, Amazon, of course, yeah. I haven't really looked for molds. I've got a couple for coasters, I think. So I've done a few coasters. I just haven't found the right ratio with the resin that I have to make it so it doesn't, like it hardens up properly. I need to put more hardener into it, I think. But the last time I did coasters, I let them sit and I let them cure for about 2 or 3 days. And then even so, it ended up being where you can still bend it. Yeah, so if you have a CNC that's big enough, that's the way to do it. And my laser is only 12 by 20, I think. Yeah, 12 by 20 is the bed size on it, or the working size anyway. So I use my CNC for bigger stuff. Although I haven't touched the CNC in forever. I need to get a lube kit, lube it up, dust it off, start using it again. One thing I do need to do tonight is finish up some pumpkins. I've got an order that's 3 weeks. I should have had it done 3 weeks ago. I screwed it up trying to put it together with dowels, and I ended up just clamping it together again. TTS 55 Pro is only 400 millimeters square. A small kit of Bondcraft are pretty cheap. Just mix it 1-to-1. Yeah, so I use I forget what I used originally. It was, I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, maybe Walmart, something like that. I think it was Hobby Lobby, just little bottles. But I've got the half-gallon jugs, I think, of, let's see what I got here. Oh, what is this? Pro Marine. Yeah, Pro Marine tabletop epoxy. Like, it's really good for doing signs and things, like really thin pours, tabletops, things like that. But for like thicker pours, it's okay. Although, like these candles that I did, which I'm getting out tomorrow. I wanted to get them out Monday, and it didn't happen. But I finally went and bought some candles. So this pour right here was done with that. I just did it in a couple different layers, I think. I think the main color layer I did about a 1/4 inch deep. I think that's what it says, that the thickest you can do. And then I let that cure for 8 hours or so, and then I do the next layer and so on and so forth. Um, just kind of built it up. It looks kind of cool in the light. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I can do a thicker pour with it. It's just I got to do it in so many different layers. All right, how do you mix that? 3-to-1. I think it's actually by weight and not by volume, if I remember right. And I think it's a 2-to-1 ratio. I can't remember. Might be 1-to-1. I'm not sure. I have to look it up again. I don't remember, but I do want to play. That frog was really, really cute. I like that idea, and some of the things you do are really, really creative on there. A buddy of mine just texted me. I sent him a video that's not quite appropriate, but he likes that kind of stuff. I just walked up to the market. Oh yeah. Go right ahead and interrupt. So how you gonna fix that up? Are you just gonna glue it and clamp it, or are you gonna put in like a bow tie or something? Or resin would do it too. Oh, my wife just reacted to her. It's different doing it. I've got the front camera on instead of the rear camera, so now I can look at the. Why is that not turning? Did I lock that in somehow? I did. Look at that. So, I got my big screen there, so I can read the text, but also it pops up on my phone. Hey, have a good one, Amy. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I look forward to more videos too. Those are really, really good. Yeah. So tonight, I wasn't really feeling it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get into something. I am trying to formulate a plan for my scrapper day for this week, which will be on Sunday because we have a band competition. I think we get back late, so I don't think I'll be able to do it Saturday night. And usually Saturday nights, there's a lot of other people that they're doing their thing. I try not to schedule for the same time as everybody else. More for my benefit than anybody else's, but I just don't want to step on anybody's toes. But anyway, yeah. So Sunday at 1:00, I'll be doing 1:00 my time, Eastern time. I'll be doing that. But I'm trying to come up with an idea what we might be able to do this week. I want to use up some small pieces, some of the thinner stock. I might glue some stuff up Friday or Saturday before the band competition, and then kind of see what that turns into. Plane it down, flatten it out, and I think what I want to do actually is do a watch holder for an Apple Watch that incorporates the standard charger for it, which I haven't used in forever. I got a magnetic thing that does my watch, my AirPods, and my phone at the same time. Put a dowel under it to open the crack. Okay, cool. Go to spread in some glue, put in parallel clamps, glue the crap out of it before the. Okay, yeah, that works too. Oh, a neat trick I learned was did the crack run all the way through it, or is it just like half of it? Oh, and you'll have fun with it, Keith. It'd be nice to have you there. So anyway, yeah, I think I want to do a watch holder. Do something different than what everybody else has done. Just kind of get creative as things go, and just see what comes of it. Either that or I don't know, maybe a trivet. I've been wanting to do one of those for a while. I need one anyway, and full length it was through and several. Okay, so a cool trick I learned with that is I'm going in many different directions right now. The ADHD I don't have. So if you have a crack that runs all the way through a piece, like do I have one here? I do. Is that a good example? Yeah. So let me see if I can get the phone over here. Can I lower that? Is that going to work? Hey, look at that. Whee, piece of wood. So this crack right here runs all the way to the other side of the board. And especially with a thin piece like this, like it's really hard to get glue in there. So a cool trick I learned from watching somebody or reading or something, I don't know, is to put glue on the top surface of it. Sorry. Put glue on the top surface of it, then take your shop vac, put it on the other side of the board, and it'll suck that glue right into the crack. Do that a couple times until like it's really saturated with the glue, and then clamp it down. Well, hey Keith, that's cool though, man. If you can make a chest, then hey, that's money, right? Or at least get your name out there if you're donating it. I have no idea who did that video, but I'm glad I learned that trick because not too long after I watched that a couple years ago, I had a buddy who had an old, I think it was a mortar and pestle. It was something like that. Anyway, it was no, it wasn't a mortar and pestle. It was, I don't know. It had a plunger inside of like a bell-shaped wooden thing. It was kind of like that. Anyway, god damn these freaking gnats or whatever. But it was cracked, so I used that trick and glued it up. I mean, it looked like nothing had ever happened to it. It was great. So I'm glad I learned that trick. Sanded it down for him, put a finish on it, and gave it to him. Actually, I need to get a hold of that guy because we were supposed to do some stuff together, and it's just never come to pass. Kind of like a butter churn, but I don't think that's what it was. I don't remember exactly what the object was, but it was kind of like that. John Malecki, sure, John Malecki. His video, man, he's got so much stuff out there, and I've learned a lot from that guy. Have you guys seen his video where I think I mentioned it before? He put up beams in his shop, and these things were like, oh, they're freaking huge, like 16 inches by 16. I mean, they're these giant beams, and he did this really cool join to do two beams to join them on end. It was this crazy cut at these weird angles, and he did almost all of it by hand. It was nuts, absolutely nuts. And then to watch him like get up on a 12-foot ladder with these freaking huge beams and just like put them up there, almost fall off the ladder, and they just kind of like interlocked and popped into place. And he put a support piece underneath it. It was pretty impressive. I was like, holy crap. One day I'd like to have a shop like his when I retire. That's my goal. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, this weekend. So I'm going to try to. I got to sign these. Try to get. Do I have a Sharpie? I have a blue Sharpie. I don't know if that'll work. Try to figure out what we're going to make this weekend. And tonight I'll probably get to maybe working on those pumpkins a little bit. I love his videos where he has like one of his buddies come in and do like the amateur version of something, and another guy does like the mid version, and he does like the crazy version of it. Yeah, just playing the NFL, Mary Lawyer. Yeah, sure, why not, right? Yeah, is that who she is? A lawyer? I didn't realize that. Like I haven't watched all of his videos. I knew he was what, offensive lineman for the Giants or something like that. Dude's huge. Does Nick Offerman have a YouTube channel? I gotta check on that. See if he does a woodworking channel. Never thought to look. He's fun to watch too. He's funny. Have the You're gonna build a crosscut. Okay, crosscut sled. You know, that's something I got to do too. I've actually got sitting right down there. I started to build one. It didn't come out quite like I wanted it to, and so I got to fix it. But I bought the rail pieces, and a headphone stand for your wife, a rolling base for maybe that's what I'll do is a headphone stand. I could do one for my wife because she's got a pair of Bose over the ear headphones, or I can do it for my daughter even. Oh yeah, you know what? 731. Yeah, he just got, I guess, real commercial. I haven't even tried to watch his channel in a long time, but I did watch him for quite a while. I really enjoyed his channel, but I must have been watching the older videos. There's a couple other ones out there like, you know, they get to a certain point and, well, I mean, shoot, if that's their job, that's their job, you know. Who's the guy I watch? He doesn't really make anything either, but he does a lot of really good videos about tools, how to use tools properly, shop safety, stuff like that. Oh shoot, you know, I can look it up on here. To my subscribe videos. Not Matthew Peach. Jasko's, he's one of my favorites right now. That dude is hilarious. Stumpy Nubs. There we go. Stumpy Nubs. His like, I still catch videos on his all the time that are pretty good. I mean, I think he might be a kind of like pretentious. No, not pretentious. That's the wrong word. He's just kind of stuck up a little bit, but I mean, he does things the right way. You can't fault him for it. But you know, everything is just like his shop is perfect and everything is perfect, and you know, whatever. Dude, Jasko's great. He's got some funny stuff out there. The burger. Yeah. Good stuff. I've remade a couple of his things. I've done pretty well with some of the things he's made. Put my own little twist on it. Watching when I go live. Coffee table. Oh, okay. That's cool. Man, I hope it happens for you, Keith. That'd be awesome. I'm super excited when you know, Mike from Mike is Making Stuff pops on here. Like, that's someone I've watched a lot of his videos. I've been following him for a while. Really respect the guy. And it's crazy. I mean, and even some of you guys on here, yeah, Matthew Peach, like, that's what started the whole. I started watching him, you know, mostly because of the draw to, hey, smalls that sell, that kind of thing. Because I was trying to gear up for doing a couple shows, and plus, you know, selling a marketplace and Etsy and things like that. And then from there, I, you know, found Bearded Viking, and love Bearded Viking. That dude's pretty cool. Had some good conversations with him, some emails back and forth and stuff. Although lately, his lives have been all about, you know, spinning to win stuff, but that's how he makes his money. And I can't fault the guy for it. some people have complained, like, he doesn't really do any content anymore. That's all it's about. But I don't think that's the case. He still puts out videos and whatnot, and I've learned a ton from that guy. That's cool, Keith. Like, shoot him a message and let him know. Say, hey, man, like, you're what got me into this whole thing. I've got a channel started up. If you have a few minutes, hey, check me out, and it'd be cool to do a live sometime and have you watch while I build something that you taught me about. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Whether he has the time for it, I don't know, but we'll see. Oh, the concealment coffee table. Yeah. I like his. I like the one he did that was like the floating shelf that had the magnetic latch. I think that was him. But had like a magnetic latch. I think you could pop and the thing pops down. If I had guns, I'd build something like that, but I don't. All right, I'm gonna get these. So I forget exactly who won these, but I am getting them out in the mail tomorrow. I signed them. Hey, everything's in reverse. So if you're on here right now, and I apologize if I forget what the name was. I'm terrible with names, but I am getting those out tomorrow. I had shot for Monday, that just didn't happen. So I failed there. But it's all good. And then this cedar shelf, I got to finish that up too for my last scrap today and get that out in the mail too. That will not happen tomorrow because I still have a lot of work to do on it. But it is going to happen. Oh, so I'll show you guys what I was doing earlier. It's not brass. There's brass. So I don't want to like show other people's children, like even though it's just a silhouette. But I'll show you mine. That's going to be it right there. So this is actually kind of a cool idea. Our band director, my kid's band director, for the students. If you guys have a laser, this is a great idea. So if you have a laser, a way to make some money on the side. Although I don't charge the band for this, I am the band treasurer, and so it's kind of a conflict of interest. But the band pays for the actual dog tags. But anyway, he was getting dog tags engraved from somebody on Amazon, I think. And by paying a ridiculous amount, over $1 per dog tag. When you got 60, 80 kids in the band, that adds up, and so I said, I can save the band some money. I have a laser, I can do it myself. Band just buys the material, and I'll volunteer my time. So all he was doing was on one side putting, well, of course everything's in reverse, right? Where's the camera? Oh, it's over on this side. So put in the name of the pretty much the year and the name of the show, and it might have just been Camden Blue Machine, whatever the year is, right? So every year, for whatever show they do, there's a different color theme, and so the kids get one of these every year, and then certain leadership, they get their own special ones and things like that, and it's just part of the tradition of the band. It's really cool. Plus, every year that they're in the band, they also get like little beads to put on the dog tag chain, and there's some other stuff too. So anyway, last year I said, you know what, I can do this for the band, and not only can I put the show name on there and make it a little bit fancier, but I can also do silhouettes of each student. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Probably not. But so that's my daughter right there. She plays clarinet. And last year I just used generic silhouettes of whatever instrument they played. So if they played trumpet, it was a silhouette of someone playing the trumpet, and I put their name on there and had the silhouette there and all that. This year, I decided I was going to take individual shots because they got brand new uniforms. So individual pictures of each kid, and I used AI to remove the background. I used ChatGPT at first, but that's so freaking slow. Even with the paid version of ChatGPT, it was like 5 minutes per kid. There's 58 kids, I think I had to do. So that's a lot of time. And eventually, I just ended up using actually Microsoft Design Studio. It comes with Windows, and it's a free. I just remove background. Boop, hey, cool. And then when I pop in a Lightburn, I just delete all the layers. I use the trace tool, and I figured out the right settings to trace the image, so it ended up being an outline of the kid. And then just grab that bit, and then like for her, it's hard to see. I try to get the kids to have because the stance they were in was their hands at their waist and their elbows out. So I try to get them to poke their elbows out more. Some kids understood the assignment, some kids didn't, but just to get that separation there, because I knew what I was doing with it. They didn't know what I was doing with it. And anyway, so I got a silhouette of each student. So their dog tag is them. It's their picture. So anyway, all that is to say that you can offer something like that to sports team, football team, baseball team, marching band, whatever. And on Etsy, an engraved dog tag, just one side, goes for $5. You can do it two-sided. Let's say do a group. What I'm going to offer, what I'm going to put out there, because where I live, there's probably 100 different heights. No, maybe not that many, but there's a lot. I live near Hampton Roads, Virginia. So Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Suffolk, plus where I live in North Carolina, like there are schools everywhere. And somebody out there is going to go, that's a cool idea. So if I charge them $1.50 a piece for one-sided or $2 for two-sided, especially if it's a bulk deal, 50 or more, with my time to design and everything else, I think that's worth it. And then compared to, say Etsy, that's kind of the standard. On Amazon, you're not going to get anything that personalized. So it's something you can offer if you have a laser, and I can show you guys exactly the process I went through, even just to do this side here. That just has the logo on there. Very, very simple. But to set up a file on any size laser bed, and I can. Once I have the process down, now it's easy. So I could batch this out for just about anybody. So at $1.50 or $2 each, if you got a school that's got 100 kids that they'd be doing that for, or whatnot, that's an easy $200. I can do 70. I think I have mine set up for 75 at a time. I'll pull up my Lightburn file here in a minute and show you. I set the tiling job for the laser. I use Lightburn, yeah. I haven't done a video yet on it, Soldier, but I started showing it on the live on Saturday. I'll show it now, because why not? And I'll show you guys how I set it up. If you want the file, I can send it to you. You can just adjust it for whatever size bed you have. And, basically just take the squares and, or the, what am I looking for here? The template. And I'll show you exactly how I did the template, and hey, why not, right? Excuse me. Let me move my chair here. I'm going to flip the screen so everything's not in reverse. I didn't realize this locked. That's what that does. So I'm going to set that. Where's the best place to put the camera? No, probably not there. I guess here. All right, that'll work. All right, that's locked in place. Maybe that's not the best. Take it down a little bit. Hey, that probably works. Cool. All right. So, let's see here. Open up Lightburn. Update your. Oh my God. I'll ignore that for now. I don't care about Xtool stuff. Nope, not right now. I'll worry about that later. All right, so I'm going to open up dog tags D. So here I've got all, actually I can move this one back over. And about there. Well, I said I wasn't going to show somebody else's kids, and now here I am. Sorry. That, we'll go ahead and center that. Oop, there we go. Cool. All right, so each of these, let me turn this layer back on. Actually, I can turn that layer off. Hey, now you can't see that. And using layers in Lightburn, like, it super, super helps too, right? Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. I'll zoom back in here in a second. But using layers, especially for something like this, like a two-sided project, way easier. So each of these is, I think it's 29 by 50. Come on, grab it. There we go. Yeah, 29 by 50 millimeters, right? I would actually do it 30 by 51 or maybe 29 and a half. No, 29 by 51 should probably work. Like 29 by 50 is like the exact measurement. It's really, it makes it a little difficult to line it up later when you're setting those down. So giving a little bit of extra room would actually help. But from there, I also measured. It is, I believe, from the edge to the center is 6 millimeters, and then the holes are about 3 millimeters. So I set all that up, and this isn't the perfect curve of the dog tags, but I know, yeah, I have a little less room in these corners, but I know also that this line here is where it goes straight again, if that makes sense. So I kind of know my restrictions, right? I might actually put another rectangle there, just say, hey, this is your real working area. But I tiled all that out. That process is easy. You just do one down the lower left corner. You hit your array, and then just tell it how many rows and columns you want. If I send you the file, you can just delete what you don't need based off of the size of your bed. Or if your bed's bigger, add more. Although I think you said yours was 400 millimeters. So you'd be down, like, probably subtract 3 rows or 3 columns, and then however many rows. So now the hard part, the time consuming part, really comes in with setting up the names, setting up all that stuff. So if you're doing something simple like, where is it? I think it's blue layer. Yeah, here we go. So the name of the show, right? So if you know you're doing something that's just going to be repeated over and over again, it's not customized like individually, just do it in that first one before you do your array, and then do your array. I've made the mistake many times in the past where I've done the array of the outside bits, then I've worked the inside and gone, son of a bitch, and then deleted everything except for the one, and then copied and all that. Even if you're going to do individualized, let me turn that layer off for a minute. So even if you're going to do individualized, you can do the names and say the position, right? And one thing I don't know if it's a new update to Lightburn or I just never noticed it before. Hold on. And my dog is going crazy for some reason. There we go. Here's Ella. If you double click when it's still text, and I leave everything as text, I don't usually turn it into a path. But you can add carriage returns in there. That's cool. And just play around with the size based off of text and or the font and everything. Realize that it's not going to be perfect. it's off a little bit. So you want to leave a little bit of space here, a little bit of space down here, just to make sure you're not going to run into trouble. This one was one where, oh, that's not even centered. Not that it matters now, because I've already done his. There we go. I changed everything to a bold font. It shifted everything to the right just a little bit. I didn't recenter each of these. But anyway, yeah, that's how I individualize that. Let me check the comments real quick. Holy crap. Here we go. Ha! That's pretty funny. 9 tonight. So 400 millimeters square. I'll pop in for a little bit, soldier. My bedtime is way earlier than that, but that's happiness. What the heck is that? Oh, I will take it. Do you come to Elizabeth City at all? I have shop and we'll be there all day tomorrow. Sorry. Oh, I have to paint another one of those stupid cats. I'll show you guys something else that's very popular on the laser. My wife reacted to a message. Cool, cool. Squirrel. So I'm going to show you now how I bring in this. Actually, I'll do it from scratch. Show you how quick this can be. So, and it may not be, someone's silhouette. It may be something different where you need to trace something. Silhouettes. There we go. Let's find my boy. Where is he? He's the tallest kid in the band. Our second tallest. Brass section. Where is he? Right around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Nope, that's not him. What in the ham sandwich? That's not him. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find my son. There he is, right there. Okay. There's my boy right there. All right, so in just the Windows Photo software, go up to here, Edit with Designer. And then right over here, you can remove the background. You click on that, it takes less than a minute. Well, I actually need to do this with some other parts, with some other things. I guess I could make it a cutout. That would work too. Hey, there we go. Cool, we're done. So remove the background and then save that file. And then from there, and I did the kids' names. Oops, I don't want to open. I want to import. So import. It's not under silhouettes, is it? No, it's under pictures because I put it in a different spot. I didn't keep it the same. All right. Let's see. Caden, where are you? There we go. So bring in the picture of my son. Background's removed. He understood the assignment. He put space there. So now one thing I found, now it probably has to do with the fact of the change in grayscale here. One thing I wanted to do was keep these stripes. The 3 stripes are important with our band. So I wanted that in there, but they're so small, the figures, that it didn't work. But anyway, you go up to Tools, you hit Trace Image. One thing I love about Lightburn and why I'm going to pay the $40 or whatever it is to get another year of updates to it, is the photo software, especially the trace function. So for him, like, it's got his outline mostly there, right? But there's a lot of breaks there, and we don't really want that. Not for this anyway. It's not going to engrave properly on these little aluminum dog tags. So we got to raise that up. And I found around 175 to 180 is kind of the sweet spot. And what I also found was the part where there was a break was in the hat. So right here, I've got a break. So now I'm just going to take it up until it just connects and there's no breaks anymore. Because if I go any higher, so that's 177. If I go really high, well, now it's like it's following all these little bits here. It's just gonna be funky, right? I don't want that. I could do that. It just gives me a silhouette, but I got to worry about deleting all these little bits, and that sucks. It might have actually been easier. I don't think it would have mattered on something so small, but instead I took it down to that level where it's still kind of a smoothish line, where it's more smooth, and there was no breaks. So once I do that, and I clicked on delete image after trace, cool. Now I have this outline. So with that still selected, go up here to ungroup, right? So now all these are individual parts. I grab just him, the opening and the arms, group those together, pull those off to the side, and then delete this stuff. And this should be on the fill layer, which is layer 7. Boom, there we go. And for me, because of I have the name on there and I put their position or their instrument, that 30 millimeters was the right height with it being locked to the aspect ratio. So 30 millimeters, there he is, and then just take and drag over. So the whole process I can do in about 2 minutes at this point. But I set it up into sections where I removed background from all the kids and named them, because I had a list of names. As I took the pictures, I had someone write down the names, so I knew the order and which kid was which, because I don't know all the kids yet. There's a bunch of rookies this year. And yeah, that was just kind of my process. And it worked for me. But getting back to the whole, hey, this is a money-making thing, if that's what you're into. Let me get back to this. Hey, what up, Mike? I actually talked about you a little bit earlier. Oh, I got something for you, Mike, if you're still here. So hopefully that helps you, soldier. Hopefully, the whole process kind of worked for you. And I'll send you that file. Shoot me an email at makersmurphy@gmail.com. That's probably the easiest way. Well, 12 minutes would be handy. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've done, have I done bottle openers? No, I did that on the CNC, but the process was similar. Did I do that on the CNC? I can't remember. I made bottle openers last year. I made coasters out of actually 4x4 post. And let me turn this back. There we go. Yeah, so I did it out of 4x4 post and cut them to about 1/2 inch thick, maybe a little bit, maybe 3/4 inch. And then, do I still have one of those? I don't think I do. But I got these little like circular bottle opener things. So I just drilled a hole, found the right Forstner bit that worked, and then popped those in there. And yeah, on the other side, I engraved the coasters, and those were gifts for all the band dads for a trip that we all took together last winter. It was a cool little Christmas gift, and I made ornaments for everybody too. But anyway, so yeah, tiling a project like that it's super easy. Oh, and I'll show you one other thing too. Let me flip the camera yet again. Oop, I'll get the piece. Hold on just a second. So in my laser bed right now, I have got So the black outline layer I did on a, I guess you would call it a score. I scored it. And so what I have now is this piece right here. So I took a piece that's as big as I can get in my laser for my bed. I set it up. Actually, I should write this down so I don't forget, because I'm going to flip this around and lose it. My reference mark, because I have not set up myself a jig yet in the laser. So I got myself a little reference mark there, so I know exactly where to put that in the laser again. And so now it's repeatable, right? It's all about repeatability when it comes to stuff like that. Sorry about the hot iron. Not sure what that means, but okay. Hey, so Mike, if you're still here, I hope you are. What I was talking about on your video earlier, you had mentioned that you wanted to build a router table. That's what I thought that spindle was for. I didn't watch the first video where you found the gotcha. Where you found the treadmill. So I was really confused, but I saw that 4 horsepower. I was like, holy crap, that is one massive spindle right there. Like, that would be a badass CNC. If you could figure out how to get a chuck on there and keep it aligned, holy shit, man, that would be a crazy spindle for CNC or router table. Like, you could do steel with that probably. That's nuts. But what I was mentioning in the comments was, if once you do get a variable speed router table, iron grinder, yeah. Once you do get or make a variable speed router table, that I think it's called G-Wizard. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I don't think I've downloaded it on this computer. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, G-Wizard. You can put in there the power rating of your spindle, and basically just create a generic CNC or use somebody else's based off of how you would be pushing the piece across that router table. It'll give you feeds and speeds. Really, the speed is more than anything else, but then for various types of woods, like, it'll give you a whole table. It's freaking awesome software. But it'll tell you exactly like what the optimal speed and feed rate is, as well as kind of the breaking point of your tools. It's great stuff, and it's free. I'm pretty sure G-Wizard's free. Let me see here. See if I can find it real quick. G-Wizard, there it is right there. CNCcookbook.com. Yep, it's free. Anyway, if you're still here, Mike, something to check out for when you do that, and then you can get a digital tack and figure out exactly what the speeds are on whatever it is you're using, and kind of dial it in. I did that with my CNC. Found exactly where various speeds, what RPM they were running at for different settings on that little palm router that's attached to it, which I think I need to rebrush. Well, Keith, that really depends on what you want to do with it. If you're looking just to do small engravings and small pieces, a 3018, yeah, no problem. And if you ever got any questions, Soldier, yeah, just shoot me a message. Like, send me an email, or catch me on a live or something like that, and just let me know. Like, I'm not an expert by any means, but I've figured some things out, and um, you know, I've through trial and error have learned quite a bit. So yeah, Keith, with the CNC, if you want to do everything, what I would recommend is with a lot of tools, we all want to go big, right? Yeah, 3018 is great to learn on. My first CNC was, I don't remember how big. I think it was 24 by 24. I think it was 2 foot by 2 foot. But we always want the biggest, right? But there's a lot to be said for having a smaller machine that's more accurate. So what I would recommend is getting something that's kind of in the middle. I love Carbide 3D. I love the Shapeoko series. That's what I recommend, mostly because of their customer service. Even if you were to buy a used machine and something was wrong with it, you contact their customer service, and I guarantee that they'll help you out with it. They may even send you the parts for free to help make it work again. They're freaking awesome company. But anyway, mine is I think 33 by 33. It was about 3 foot by 3 foot. It's pretty massive, and the thing weighs 200 pounds. I think it's a big boy. There have only been a handful of times where that can't do everything I need it to do. And even when I run into something where I've got something that's too long, you can tile a project like that. And if it's something you get into, I can show you how to do that. It's not hard. Now, actually, VCarve or Aspire, it has tiling built into it. I've never done that. I've done it manually. And just kind of worked within the limitations of the machine. The thing I love about this particular one is I watched a bunch of videos before I ever bought the CNC, because it was a $2,000 investment. I mean, that's pretty expensive. Bought it brand new. So that's quite the investment. There was one video I watched, though, where a guy assembled, he compared this to, is it Onefinity? I think that's the other one that's kind of popular. But he put it through every test he could think of, to include like standing on the y-axis rail and the x-axis rails, and there was no flex in it whatsoever. Whereas the Onefinity had a bit of flex to it. He's like, this is obviously an extreme case, but anytime there's flex in anything like that, it's going to introduce error. So that's why I went with this one. And I know people that use these as production. I mean, they're just cranking stuff out day after day after day. They run this thing, every hour they're in the shop. And I did for quite a while. I've done so much shit on this thing. It's paid for itself 3 times over at this point. But I wouldn't recommend the biggest machine. This company has one that's, I think, 5 foot by 5 foot, or 4 by something, and they've got some crazy sizes now. I would recommend their newer machines if you can find, especially if you're going to go down the used route. If you can find one at a good price, because they've just introduced new features that are really, really nice. Their new bed, instead of just being slotted rails that you can slide T-slot pieces into, actually has holes in there, so you can better clamping solutions, things like that. Use Carveco Maker, Carbide Create, sure. That's their software. I like Vectric. It has a really robust modeling software built into it, but it's expensive. I think VCarve is $750. But the thing that's really cool about Vectric is if you start with one of their lower tier bits of software, and you decide, you know what, I want to move up a tier, they'll take the money you spent on the lower tier and take that cost off of the next tier up. So for me to move up, like I've got VCarve Pro, $750. If I want to move up to Aspire, their highest one, I think it's $1,500. So really, I'd only pay $750. I just pay the difference, which is an awesome feature. I have no use right now for Aspire. I'm not doing 2.5D like you see these people that do the like the wavy flags and stuff like that. They built those files using Aspire or something similar. You can do it in other things like Inventor or Fusion 360, and then import it, and you can make that work. There's a bit of a learning curve to it. It's all crazy. If you're good with 3D modeling software, then you'd have no problem. Otherwise, it's a pretty good learning curve. It takes a while to learn all that stuff. But I know Aspire specifically for doing like the flags and some other things like that. It's kind of like baked into the software, which is kind of cool. It's like I watched a video where a guy designed a flag in under 5 minutes and had it on his machine carving it. So that's pretty cool. Anyhow, if you're going to go with a CNC, I would recommend something in the middle. So not something that's super huge that's taking up your whole shop, because hey, Carveco is a good software too. I can't talk shit about it. I haven't played around with it a lot, but I've watched other people using it, and it's good software. And even Carbide Create's pretty good. It's missing a lot of features that I like with the Vectric stuff. I just kind of bit the bullet. I said, I'm going to pay this much for this machine. I might as well get good software. And I played around with like G-Sender and some other free stuff with my old CNC that was a piece of shit. And I decided it's going to pay for itself eventually, and it has. So yeah, what up, Boo? Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the live. It's Wednesday, and the camera's facing this way. It is Wednesday.
Today's
Wednesday, Ella. Yeah.
I thought it was Thursday.
I'm taking you to your appointment in the morning.
I know.
Okay.
Mom already told me.
Okay.
I'm in 8 spit.
Okay, I'll be in there in 5 minutes.
I thought that was a chair.
It's not a chair. It's a bunch of scrap wood.
Like, see that now?
Yeah.
Freaking Jesus in here, bro.
Yeah. Right now, CNC.
What is that?
This thing. It carves wood.
Carbide 3D.
Yep, that's the name of the company.
Jenny.
That's the name of the bits I get.
Jenny.
Oh, that's another thing too. I mean, if you're going to invest in a CNC, you might invest in some good bits. Amana makes some good bits. I really like, what's the name of the company? Cadence Manufacturing and Design. The Jenny series, excellent bits. Invest in good tools. So even if you go a little bit cheaper on the machine, make sure the tools are going to make a huge difference. CNC, you want to keep it. If you have the room for it, go massive. But the larger the machine is, the more error you're going to introduce. I'll put it that way. Unless it's an extremely expensive $100,000 machine it can do a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and it's meant to be it's super rigid and all that. You want rigidity. That's the biggest thing when it comes to CNC. So for the hobbyist or for people like us that are not just cranking stuff out day after day after day, but are just kind of toying around with it and maybe making things for people here and there. Something like this, it does the job, and it does it really, really well. The Onefinity, as far as I know, is a good machine. Oh, that's awesome, Soldier. Yeah, I've done a couple catch trays on the CNC. Cedar, I use cedar because, oh man, carving on cedar is like my favorite thing to do. Besides the smell, it's beautiful. It's like a hot knife through butter. It's so easy, It comes out great. Very little sanding. Love it. Absolutely love working with cedar. Even walnut, though, I've had really good luck with walnut. Pine, though, do not carve in pine. You're just going to end up with stringy stuff everywhere. It's crap. But Keith, I would say go with a mid-sized machine, something between 2 foot by 2 foot to say 2 by 4, something in that range, in that realm, and you can do just about everything. You're not going to break the bank. It should be a pretty rigid machine. Just do your research and watch a bunch of videos and see what other people have to say about them that are not sponsored. Like I said, I love Carbide. I love the Shapeoko series, but there's some other good ones out there. Yeah, just do a little bit of research and eventually pull the trigger. It's not hard, especially if you're buying files from other people. Yeah, state coasters. I've done that. I actually made. I saw someone else that I copied their idea. I made some coasters. It was actually my laser. Took the United States and then cut it in half, and you have left coaster, or I'm sorry, east coaster and west coaster. That was kind of, it's a dad joke. It's funny. Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, if you got more questions about CNC, I'd be more than happy to talk your ear off about it. Just shoot me a message sometime. Yeah, there's a learning curve to it, but you can do some incredible stuff with it too. One thing with that too is if you're going to use a shop dust collection system, make sure it can handle it. It's got enough suction. I end up actually usually using it'll work, but it's not. Doesn't have enough velocity really. I have too big of a hose on there, I think, but not enough velocity to really suck up all the chips. It'll get clogged and stuff real easy. My shop vac, that's what I'll usually connect to it. But that's something to think about is dust collection. If you don't do dust collection, you're just going to have a mess everywhere. And you can actually run into problems sometimes where if you're not picking up the dust, it's just recarving the dust over and over again, and bad things can happen. You want to be on camera, Ella? Oh, there we go. Okay. Long Mill. Yeah, Long Mill's a really good company too. How big is yours? Like Long Mill, I think makes some big ass machines. Some like the 4x8s and stuff like that.
You should get a mohawk.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna put my daughter to bed. Give me 5 minutes, maybe less. Talk amongst yourselves. second here. Mess around with the computer for a minute. It says 6 people are watching. I'm sure like 4 of those are Keith. I'm one of them. Then there's you, Soldier. Maybe it's just the 3 of us. Cabinet saw is honestly way more useful. Oh. All right, hold on a second, guys. I was just getting back to a customer. Red Sox winning? It's still tied. Go Red Sox. Okay. All right, I'll get back to it here. Coaster sign. Let's see. Don't we got by that? Yeah. So something like the 3018 is a great, like my first CNC. There we go. Let me put that back there. My first CNC, I think I've mentioned. What the heck? There we go. Sorry for anybody that might have problems with epilepsy. Stuff swapping around there. My first CNC was a mostly 3D printed CNC, MP CNC. It was a little bit smaller than this. I think it was 24 by 24. It worked. It was crap. It was not rigid at all. But it worked, right? And it was great to start on, to kind of learn things. And I made stuff with it. I think I paid $50 or $100 for it. I probably made $400 or $500 making my making some growth charts. So that really taught me a lot with that. I've really found its limits though, and mostly it had to do with the fact that the stepper motors weren't strong enough, and then when I finally reached those limitations, I was like, oh, man, I really need to upgrade. So I bit the bullet and bought this thing. And like I said, I've made my money many times over with this. I've done so much on this thing. Haven't touched it in a while though. I need to get back into it. Right now, it's just stuff sitting on it. But I'll get back to it eventually. Hopefully soon. I've got some projects I need to do with it. It does. You can do lots of cool stuff with the CNC. So go for it. I guess that's the bottom line. Just go for it. Find yourself a deal though. Look on Marketplace. Look on. I wouldn't do anything other than Marketplace, honestly. Something you'd have to see and make sure it's in decent condition. Maybe even see it run would be the best thing. But yeah, find yourself someone that's getting rid of one. Sometimes you can find really great deals. Especially someone that like bought, even with a laser, right? Bought it, can't figure out how to use it. And so then they're like, well, I can't return it, so I might as well sell it. And you get a good deal on it. Yeah, you don't want to do an eBay purchase or definitely not Amazon. I know people will resell machines on Amazon or sell them as if they're representing the companies, whatever it happens to be. Don't do it. Unless that company only sells on Amazon, I wouldn't do it. Find someone on Facebook or just go straight to the company and buy new. That's usually preferred because you're going to get the best warranty on it because things are going to happen. When I bought this machine, it was missing a bolt on one of the rails. And so I couldn't use it that first day. I was so pissed off, man. It took me like 3 hours to put it together. And I was so excited to just throw a piece on there and see what it could do. Contacted the company. They next day aired me the part I needed, plus a bunch of other bolts and things. They basically said, just here you go. Here's a bunch of stuff just in case something else breaks. I still have all those bolts in a box somewhere. And yeah, they didn't charge me a dime for it. And then later I had issues with the spoil board. It was my fault, and they still hooked me up with brand new stuff. I paid for it. I wouldn't let them at that point because it was my fault. But they were willing to give it to me for free. What is up, New Beginnings? How's it going? We're just chit-chatting right now. I was showing off some things I did on the laser earlier today. Way to make a few bucks. And now we've been chit-chatting about CNCs. I do have some work I need to do, but it's probably not going to happen tonight. At this point, I probably shouldn't be touching any machinery. Stuff I'll mess with tomorrow. What is that? Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, so we're just chit-chatting about CNC, some laser stuff. And yeah, Keith is two dudes. Yeah. Yeah, Keith is two dudes. Oh, I think you've popped on here before. I don't know if I've ever shown. I know I've shown it before, but my CNC looks like this. That's bad. It's really, really bad. It's just storage space right now. I haven't had any projects to do on it in a long time, although I do have one I need to do. It's a retirement gift for somebody that I should have actually had finished by now. I just haven't gotten around to designing it or doing it. Yeah. I just turn, like when you don't have like ongoing projects, it just turns into storage space. Like I've got this here. This is something I came up with, my own design. Available on Etsy? No, it's not actually, because I don't know how to do that with CNC files. But right here. So this is the Coast Guard version. I have a Navy version as well of 2.5D carving of the Chief's insignia. It says, "That's what Chief said," because I thought that was funny. It's a dad joke. I've done a bunch of these, but I haven't had any orders in a long time. Chief's initiation is usually when I get some, but I didn't this year, which was surprising. I think I mentioned before, I also did, I've done a lot of signs. Yeah, my laser, man, I run my laser all the freaking time now. It just seems to be like where I kind of focus my attention, and then that's what just ends up happening too. But the laser is more useful at this point because I can throw engravings on there a lot easier. Although there are times where I'm limited by size, so CNC would work. But yeah, I want to upgrade my laser. Not quite done paying it off yet. I did the stupid thing. Instead of just paying it at once, I did God, what's it called? I'm basically paying it over 3 years, and I'm paying almost twice the sticker price, like 75% more. But I couldn't afford the laser all at once. I could afford a monthly payment. It's probably the dumb way to do it, but it's paid for itself at this point. Yeah, firm. There you go. That's basically what it was a firm. Not recommended. Don't recommend doing that at all. The other laser I had was it was a cheap little diode laser that I had upgraded to a 10 watt, but it was super limited. It was a knockoff of an Alex maker. I can't even remember the brand. But it was really small. It was really limited. I wanted to be able to cut as well as engrave. And so I decided to go with the Polar 350. And that company has pissed a lot of people off. Omtech or OMTech or whatever. I still like it. I have no problems with it. I've gotten really, really lucky though. Knock on wood. Yeah, CO2 is way faster than a diode. My production went way up. I can batch stuff out now. I could do a lot more with it. I want to get a Thunder. My next one will be a Thunder laser though. It worked well for me because I paid by a week with no interest, and the tools pay the payment. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of partner with 3mm ply. Sure. I mean, well, you got a 55 watt, right? So that'll definitely do 3mm ply easy. That's mine's a 50 watt. I've done 6mm. Oh, not ply. I've done hard or have I done 6mm? I think I've done walnut and cedar. I don't think I'd be able to do ply at that thickness. 5.4. Oh, when you said 55, I thought it was a 55 watt, not a 5.5 watt. Holy crap! Can you cut through 3mm with a 5.5 watt? That's got to take a lot of passes. Holy shit! Make sure that leatherette is laser safe, or you have really good ventilation. Yeah, you said 40 by 40. Still cut it. Yeah, well, yeah, it'll take a lot of passes. I think I tried to do 3mm ply with my 10 watt, and it probably took me 7 to 10 passes. It was at that point I was trying to cut something. I don't remember if I was making a Christmas ornament for somebody or something, but that's the point where I said, you know what, I need to move up to a CO2. I cannot stand this. This is not something that if I want to make this a thing, I can't stand having this like waiting forever and ever and ever. 1/2 inch oak. Yeah. So the harder the wood, the easier it is to cut. Honestly, 1/2 inch is pretty good though. I haven't. Well, maybe it was. I forget how thick the. Um, where is it? Actually, I've got them hanging right here. So I did these out of these cedar. Yeah, these are cedar. So let's see how thick these are. I just found my. Ah, there it is. My digital mic. What is up, Raja? Hey, I was watching you. I think it was you. Were you spinning like a really long piece on live today or yesterday? It had to have been like a 4-foot piece. Was that you? I think I was watching you. Let's see here. So that's millimeters, inches. Let's see how thick this is. Almost 1/2 inch. So 0.44 millimeters. You can't see that. But I made some herb strippers out of, this has got to be cedar. Yeah. And it did it, and I think it was 2 passes I had to do it, which wasn't too bad. And I think I've done some walnut that's about the same thickness. 1/2 inch. Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, it burnt the shit out of the inside of it. I don't know if you can see that. Like the inside of those holes is really burnt. I don't have a good way to sand that either. I don't have a rasp or anything like that. For this one, I was able to put it on my router table and route out a chamfer on there. But for the actual herb stripping parts, I just left it as square as possible. And I thought those were so, and they didn't. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. Thank you, Raja. Yeah, 3 millimeter, 1/8 of an inch. I think 1/8 is actually 3.2 millimeters, 3.18, something like that. Yeah, that would work too. Yeah, drilling it. Now that I have a drill press, I could do that a lot easier. But yeah, anyway, so with the CO2, I was able to cut through that, which is almost 1/2 inch cedar. I've done some walnut that's about the same thickness. It might take me 2 passes, and just lowering it down each pass so I get that sweet spot of the laser as close to the middle of the wood as possible. Oh, Millscraft drill guide, that would work too. Yeah. That was actually a project I tried to do it on the CNC, and I don't remember what happened. Why it didn't work right. Maybe I made a bad file. I can't remember. 34 pens to engrave. My damn pen can't still ever come. Okay. I think I asked you this maybe last time I was on live or a couple times ago. You got a rotary, right? Like a chuck rotary? Because trying to do a pen on anything but a chuck rotary, I can't imagine doing that. That would suck big time. I really want a chuck rotary. I'm going to tell my wife that's the only thing I want for Christmas this year. I've got the rotary that came with my machine. It's just the wheels, and it sucks. I hate it. It's such a pain in the ass. That is one thing that I have found. Like, I've done a couple tumblers, like for my wife. I got to do one for my daughter. I think I've done 2 for my wife. Not something I want to get into. Mostly because sourcing the tumblers is like decent tumblers. Like, I don't want to sell crap, but sourcing the tumblers is hard. Made a jig to hold them, just doing names on the. Oh, okay, that's cool. I've done pencils that way. That's another good one too. For I didn't do it early enough this year to catch the beginning of the school year, but doing number 2 pencils, engraving kids' names on them or funny sayings or something like that. Dude, I want to buy a lathe so bad. I was actually talking. Oh, I've got a customer. I did they created their own yard game, and there's actually one of the random crap on the floor. So there's this company. This is my version of it. The ornaments I made for everybody last year. That was a photo of all of us. I did a photo engraving. Kind of weird, but I forget what the fish was about. There was something came up that had to do with a goldfish, like memory of a goldfish or something. I can't remember. We were really drunk during that trip. But anyway, that was kind of a cool thing I did on the laser. But this stuff right here, God, what's the name of the company? Shit, I get an email from them all the time. I can't remember, but they have this. It's got an MDF core, and then this is, I forget what this is called, but it's pre-painted, and when you grave in it, you can paint over the engraving and then just wipe off the paint, and it stays inside the engraving and just wipes off the material. Pretty awesome stuff. But this company right here, if I can think of their name, shit, my brain's not working. They do misfit sales all the time, where they have stuff that's got, it might just be like just a little tiny dot. It's kind of like melamine, yeah. So it might just be a little tiny spot on a 12 by 20 sheet that has a bubble in it, and they're like, nope, it's not good enough for our customers normally at normal prices, so they'll sell it at like 50% off. And just they'll do batch stuff. Sometimes they'll do it where it's just like, hey, it's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get in this box of stuff, but we got 20 sheets or whatever. I mean, they do these really crazy sales. It's awesome. Yeah, the rotary chuck, that is the way to go, especially for something. If you want to do all the way around a pen. If you're just doing a very small text, a name, I'm sure that just having it lay flat with a jig would work fine. Oh, but yeah, the lathe. I have a customer. I made a custom yard game for them. It's a psychiatrist out in Washington State, I think. I think it was out by Seattle, maybe Oregon, maybe Portland, Oregon, somewhere around there, on the left coast anyway. And I've finally finished this thing up. A lot of it was laser engraved. Sent it to them, and then I said, if you got any changes you need to make, I'll send it to you, no charge, because they paid good money for this, and so they had a couple things they need to fix. And one of the things they want is a baton that's about 8 inches long, 8.5 inches long, but 2.3 inches in diameter, and want it out of birch. I was like, I don't think I can find a birch dowel. If I had a lathe, I could do it for you. I can source birch, but I convinced them to do instead. I'm going to do a square dowel where I take it and put it on the router table and do a round over bit and make it as circular as possible. And so they were happy with that because I'm going to do engravings on the 4 sides of it. But anyway, I need a lathe. That's the moral of that story right there. Can I mask wood and laser it like I would for the CNC, then weed it and paint? Yes, you can, Soldier, but you've got to make sure that tape that you mask it with is down good. And actually, instead of using tape, they make this stuff, and I can't remember the name of it. You can buy it on Amazon. It's in like 10-foot rolls or something like that. If you look for some YouTube videos on masking CNC projects or whatever, it'd be the same stuff. Although make sure it's laser safe, because you don't want to kill yourself because it ends up being vinyl. But you want to make sure you got super good adhesion, otherwise you're just going to bleed through. One thing I recommend is after you cut it, spray it down with a clear coat, and then do your fill. But yeah, you can do that. I've done that before with some engravings on wood. So many orders for bills that come in from now till Easter. I don't get to use it as much as I like it. Yeah. Hey, that's a great problem to have. Oh yeah. So Cricut masking stuff, but that stuff is not laser safe. At least not with a CO2. I doubt for a diode either. And I'll show you what happens when you use something that's not laser safe in a laser. Hold on. Right after I eliminate some of what I got inside of me here. Gotta get rid of some beer. Beer in, beer out. So, should I put the microphone back on? So, first of all, if you take the Cricut stuff and you try to do it on your laser, this is what happens. Like this stuff, it melts as soon as it cuts and doesn't actually really cut through. So that's one problem, right? The other problem, now with something like this, it'd be a really fast cut. It's not really, it's bad for you, right? You shouldn't do it. But I flirt with disaster all the time. But I did some stuff on my laser soon after I got it. I didn't realize PVC and certain types of vinyl you don't want to laser. And I didn't realize the material I had was PVC. It was just sheets of some stuff I got from somebody. Do I have that pointed the right way? I do. Oop, yeah, inside the. So I don't know if you can see like how. I mean, my laser's dirty. It's dirty as fuck. But I got these spots here that are kind of brown. Yeah, it shouldn't be that color, even with all the lasering I do. Over here in the corner, all this stuff like the corrosion. This is corrosion on aluminum. That's not supposed to happen. That's what PVC does when you laser it. It makes a super corrosive gas. I can't remember exactly what the gas is. Definitely something you don't want to breathe and something you don't want in your laser because it can destroy it. I got super lucky I didn't destroy mine, but it's ugly. That's funny. Yeah, so be really careful when lasering plastics. I'll just go with that. Go with something that's laser safe. They do make laser safe vinyls and things. They do make, I think, laser safe masking. But honestly, if you use blue tape, just make sure it's sealed real good to the surface. Then you can do your engraving. Excuse me, pull that away, paint over it. But I would recommend doing a clear coat on top first. There's some good videos on YouTube about different masking techniques with a laser. Do a search for it and find it, or invest in something like this. Smoky Hills Laser Supplies. That's the name of the company. They're out of North Carolina. They're local to me. Well, not really local to me. They're about a 4-hour drive away. But the shipping's going to kill you. You got to buy it in bulk really to make the shipping worth it. They're a smaller company. They make some awesome stuff. But join their mailing list or whatever. They'll shoot you a text message that says, "Hey, in half an hour or an hour we're doing a misfit sale. And you might be able to find some stuff like this that I can't remember the name of this particular material that they have, but they've got some videos. They got YouTube videos where they show how to use their different materials. Awesome stuff. So that's what I would really recommend. But if you're going to be using some kind of hardwood or something, just make sure it's sealed real good before you paint it after you peel it away. There you go. Laser Safe masking for $15. Sweet. You're in Harbor Freight, just glancing at the new Bauer wood lathe. Variable speed, forward and reverse, comes with a stand, runs ultra quiet to be cheaper. I almost picked that up, actually. But my shop is becoming a mess again. I don't know if that was ever really clean in the first place. I don't have room for it. Like, I don't even have room for my bandsaw and my router table and my drill press right now. Like, I've got to make room for all that stuff before I think of a lathe. Man, I want one so bad. I could do a lot of fun things with a lathe. One of these days. One of these days. So cool. Hopefully that works for you, soldier. Hopefully your dial laser will cut through that. That's another thing too, is that because of the different wavelength of light, sometimes a diode won't cut through the same materials that a CO2 will cut through. But I hope it works out for you. If not, you're going to have to go with the masking tape method. Well, some people's shops are truly clean. I don't know that they actually do any work in them. Although John Malecki, well, his shop is huge, right? We were talking about him earlier today or tonight. Man, have a shop like that. To actually have the space to do something and then be able to like sweep it up. I know when I got my my dust collector, I wanted to build some floor sweeps so I could just sweep stuff into it and suck it up, and that never happened. That's a future project. I just got to throw some crap away. I threw away a bunch of stuff. I'm going to throw away a lot more. Shop wasn't clean when he first started YouTube because, yeah, most of us start in a little space, right? One of these days I'll have the bigger shop. There's a build I want to do. I think it's 36 by 50 foot, 1.5 stories. I haven't priced it out in a while. When we first moved into this house over a decade ago, at the time, that shop at this company was, or garage or whatever you want to call it, but 36 foot by 50 foot, story and a half, it was $14,000. That did not include the concrete slab, but it was all the framing, basic walls, real basic vinyl siding, and roofing. Also have to, I think you had to buy your own fasteners too. So screws, nails, whatever. But looking at about, at the time for concrete, I could have done that, a 4-inch concrete pad that size for, I don't know, $5-6 grand. So looking at $20,000, dude, that's bigger than my freaking house. I got a decent sized house, especially at a story and a half. So what I wanted to do was build that, have a 3-car garage on the bottom, have a pool house in the back, and then upstairs have a wood shop. Yeah. One of these days. It's still a dream of mine to do that. We just put the pool in, so now I have an excuse. But I just got to save up the money to. I'm sure that same thing is probably now $50,000. I can do a steel building about that big for about 50 or 60 grand. But then I had to, insulate it and everything else and side it nice, and it wouldn't be 2 stories like that thing is. But it's an option, a less expensive option. Maybe in a couple of years. I got to get some kids through college first. work on getting my 100% VA disability. I'm almost there. If I can ever get that, whew, man. Oh, with the back problems I have, I should be able to get there. That's the goal. Well, dang. How long have we been on here tonight? We've been on here for hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's almost bedtime. It's been fun hanging out. I think I'm gonna hang it up for tonight. I'm gonna finish up these pumpkins offline. Get some stuff ready to ship out to some people that won some things, and figure out this mess right here. What we're gonna make this Sunday for Scrapter Day this week. Yeah. So hopefully you guys can join me on Sunday. I'm going to be doing it. No problem, Soldier. If you ever have any questions, shoot me an email. makersmurphy@gmail. Have a good one, New Beginnings. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah. So Sunday, I know it's right at football time, but the Patriots don't play till 8 o'clock, so I don't care about anybody else's team. I might have some football in the background though, and see how I react for my fantasy team. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out tonight. It's been a good one, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Sunday. If not, I'll catch you on the next one. And hey, go make something.